So today I have quite a sensitive topic to talk about, and I've kind of debated whether or not to, because it might be offensive to some. It's definitely not offensive to birth parents, but it might be offensive to a couple adoptive parents if they've been in a similar situation. So I apologize now. Just understand that I'm just trying to bring light to the situation and prepare those who are considering adoption. I was approached by a dear friend of mine. I'm going to go ahead and give her an alias name and call her D. She is a young lady that I respect dearly. I met her through a friend and who is also an adopted mother, and we both have a lot of respect for this young woman. Now understand, I have a lot of contact with birth moms. I am an adopted mom of two beautiful children, so I definitely have a lot of contact with our birth mothers and also our daughter's birth father and extended family. And also, because our son's birth mom lived with us for the last couple months of our pregnancy before our son was born, I got to go to group therapy with her. So I got to meet a lot of the birth moms in our area, not just birth moms, but also expecting mothers, and some of those expecting mothers kept. I have the utmost respect for birth mothers and expecting mothers, and for parenting mothers who are single parents. I find that my heart is very protective of them. If I ever heard someone say something bad about birth moms in general, I would be the first one to stand up and correct them. I do not believe, as you can tell, I'm very passionate in this area. I do not believe that anyone has the right to judge how or when someone makes a decision regarding their child that they may be considering adoption, they may be considering parenting. I don't feel like it should be anybody's decision except the parents, the birth parents, the expecting parents, whatever title you want to give them at that point. This situation that I'm going to talk about today, it saddens my heart. It actually lights a fire under me, and it makes me very emotional, so I hope I can get through this post. I think it's very important that I talk about it, because any of you who are hoping to adopt, I beg you to check your heart. I beg you to find the sincerity in your heart, to be able to listen to this story, to be able to see if you would be this person. I first got in contact with her this past year, this expecting mother. She was at the end of her pregnancy. She had picked a family, and there was some situations that happened right at placement, and I know details, but I'm not going to share them out of privacy. But the hoping to adopt, the couple that was hoping to adopt was placing interesting guidelines, and I'm not saying your general level of openness, but there were certain things that were asked of the birth mom that the birth mom felt insecure about. She felt like they were possibly pulling away from her already, even though the baby wasn't in their arms. So she got nervous, of course, like anyone would, and she changed her mind. This is at the hospital. There were some things that happened. So she changed her mind and she decided to parent, because to her, she wanted an open adoption, and she didn't feel like they were going to be able to fulfill that end of the bargain. Now, like I said, I do know details, and the person that I found the story through, like I said, I met her through a friend, and that friend actually knows the adoptive parents who were hoping to get this baby. So I'm not just being naive and being judgmental. I'm just hurt. I'm sad at this situation, especially as an adopted mom who cares so much about my birth moms. So if I had a failed placement, I can honestly say I would be devastated. I would probably cry for 6 months straight. It would be, the hardest experience of my life. But I know for a fact that if my birth moms would have decided to parent, that I would have loved them through that experience. I may not have been able to be their best friend, but I would have supported them, and I would have sustained them fully in that decision. However, that being said, in this situation, unfortunately, that wasn't the case. The adoptive couple that was hoping to have this baby in their arms was very cruel, and they said very hurtful things. I actually read a blog post that the potential adoptive mother wrote, and I was dumbfounded. I was baffled at how disrespectful it was to this poor young woman who made the hardest decision to parent. Yes, I respect adoption 100%, and I think that if you are a single parent, you should definitely consider it. However, it's your choice. You need to make this choice for yourself. You need to make an educated decision. I am very much a supporter of adoption, as you all know. That being said, this young woman had lots of pressures from all areas pushing her towards adoption. I'm sure she got some pulling away from adoption. She was trying to make the right choice for this baby, for her baby. And I don't feel like it was respected. This hoping to adopt, how do I put that? This couple who was hoping to adopt this baby posted pictures of this beautiful little child on their blog, and of this young woman, expecting parent, this woman who had just delivered this baby, put pictures of her on it. And I didn't think it was flattering towards her at all. This young lady asked this woman to take the pictures off her blog, and she refused to because she said it was part of her story. My heart aches that this woman missed the opportunity to serve this young, delicate woman. Because of this, you have to understand, these women who are looking to place, when they choose a couple, they love us. They love us so fully. So for her to change her mind, to tell them that she could not place with them because she didn't feel content with that, would be such a hard decision because she had fallen in love with this couple. And she felt like afterwards, in fact, let me just read what she wrote so that you can have an understanding. Let me pull it up here. She says, "My heart aches so badly. The people who I was going to trust to have my baby were not who they said they were. I really tried to be there for them, and I knew they were hurting. But they didn't care not one bit about my feelings. It was like they needed the spotlight on them. Some of the comments she made on her blog were so cruel and uncalled for. I felt so betrayed by them. Like I told her, your so-called love for us was based on whether I placed with you or not. It was such a hard pill to swallow. My heart aches for her so deeply, and I actually ache just as much for the couple that was hoping to adopt this child, but in a different way, because her heart has to be so sour and so bitter. And trust me, I would be devastated if I had a failed placement. I am trying my hardest not to be judgmental, but when you choose adoption, please understand that you're deciding to choose hard things. Adoption is not easy. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's a miracle, but there's nothing easy about it. And so if you cannot commit beforehand to love these women, no matter what they do, and even if you have to love them at a distance, if this is a failed placement, even if you don't even have to love them after a failed placement, but you must decide now that you will be courteous if they choose otherwise, if they don't choose you to raise their child. What a sad story. It's a true story, and I am so sad that this could have ruined this young girl's idea of what adoption is about, but instead she has grabbed it and ran with it, and she is becoming such a beautiful, wonderful advocate for adoption, and I am so proud of her. I am so proud of her for making the decision that she felt was right. And I know that they can't validate her for some reason. They can't muster that in their own hearts. But Dee, I validate you. You are a beautiful mama. And I know that you have the confirmation that you need. And trust me, girl, you just need to listen to that, because there's going to be pressures out there. And I pray that all of you who are considering adoption, who want an open adoption, please, please, please prepare yourself. No one wants to have a failed placement, but unfortunately, sometimes it does happen. You have to trust. You have to trust. But at the same time, make a goal. Put it in your hearts that if it doesn't go through, that you're going to be respectful and you're still going to be a wonderful representative for adoption, because we're advocates. Oh, it breaks my heart. Obviously, I'm very passionate about this, and I'm sorry if I'm bringing off too much intensity, but I just feel like this is not something small. I think it's heartbreaking. And this poor woman, Dee, she hurts deeply, and she was affected by this placement, this failed placement as well. So if there's any of you who have experienced that, I'm sure she would love to hear a shout out from you. You guys can always leave comments, and I'm sure that she'll see them if she'll watch this video. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope this message has touched your heart.